George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell both apparently told Bob Lazar not to go to Congress and testify, which was kind of an interesting development to hear from them this week. Let's listen to the clip and just discuss it. Again, Bob Lazar here, longtime famous whistleblower. Some people think he's fake. Some people think he's legit. He's like Joe Rogan's favorite UFO person. And yeah, so apparently George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell told Bob Lazar not to testify.
Bob Lazar been asked to testify? Yes. Multiple times, not just to me, to you. And so, we would, and there is a world where Bob does testify. He's no problem testifying. He's already said it all. He's done lie detector tests. He testify, but he also has a little bit of a distrust for the process. And we've seen that in action while we're there by not Congress, but a lot of the staffers and CIA people that were spooks like Rep.
So here he's talking about the whole Schellenberger thing that went down. Where he was kind of like crashing out a little bit over Schellenberger and Nancy Mace.
Burchett said that he was approached not to say my name and then said it anyway into the microphone. He's a gangster. And he said that on Andy's podcast, that UFO podcast, he explained what happened. So you and I have seen the Tom fuckery, and I can totally understand why Bob wouldn't want to raise his head above that parapet again. I don't like going to DC. It's spooky, but he's been asked.
The first time I was asked to ask him if he would do it, maybe 5.
Corbell's talking about this moment right here real quick. Remember this?
Every single whistleblower that has ever come to me or George Knapp should have absolute guttural fear if they understand what's going on right now.
No, we don't.
Congress just lied to the American public.
Why? Where was the lie?
Oh, I submitted. Congress just lied to the American public.
Why? Where was the lie?
Oh, I submitted the IC document. Ask Schellenberger, he'll tell you. But everybody sat there as they said he did. Why? You should ask yourself that.
Ask yourself that question. So that's what he's referencing right there, just so we're on the same page. Although I kind of feel like it's a cop-out.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
And my initial, I had reservations, but I asked him, and maybe I was pushing him in that direction, and he said yes. If you think it's a good idea, yes.
Yeah.
And after a while, after thinking about it, I'm sorry that people will be mad at me for this, but I advised him not to do it.
Real quick, before we get to that, let's watch the Pixar version of it, because that one won't get copyrighted.
Nightmares came true. They are trying to erase me and give Schellenberger credit for my whistleblower.
Congress just lied to the American public.
Why? Where was the lie?
Oh, I submitted the IC document. Ask Schellenberger, he'll tell you. But everybody sat there as they said he did. Why? Nancy Mace lied. Nancy Mace said Schellenberger gave her an 11-page report on Immaculate Constellation from a whistleblower, okay? That was a lie, and she knew it.
I don't know what to say. I don't know why she said that. I think she just assumed it was.
She knew it was a lie. So maybe, as an investigative reporter, you should ask yourself, why is it that they lied? You should ask yourself that.
I'm happy to clarify it. I'm not going to accuse the chairwoman of lying.
Jeremy, you're not going to that 5 o'clock thing, I take it.
Oh, I'm fucking going. I'm not going to be quiet. I'm fucking going to look everybody in the fucking eye.
So that's what he's referencing when he says there's tomfuckery. Let's go.
If he would do it, maybe 5 years.
Podcast, that UFO podcast, he explained what happened. So you and I have seen the Tom fuckery, and I can totally understand why Bob wouldn't want to raise his head above that parapet again. I don't like going to DC. It's spooky, but he's been asked.
The first time I was asked to ask him if he would do it, maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And my initial, I had reservations, but I asked him, and maybe I was pushing him in that direction, and he said yes. If you think it's a good idea, yes.
Yeah.
And after a while, after thinking about it, I'm sorry that people will be mad at me for this, but I advised him not to do it. He's told his story. He does not owe ufology anything. He's been crapped on for more than 30 years by this topic and all the major players.
So he told him no. Very odd. Because especially you got to consider too, George Knapp's kind of whole career started with Bob Lazar. I don't know. I find this very suspect.
If you think it's a good idea, yes.
Yeah. And
after a while, after thinking about it, I'm sorry that people will be mad at me for this, but I advised him not to do it. He's told his story. He does not owe ufology anything. He's been crapped on for more than 30 years by this topic and all the major players in it. It's not like he needs validation from UFO people. and you can see just him popping up on that stage in Austin, all the same crap gets dragged up all over again. And I think it gets pretty old at this point. I remember interviewing him here in Las Vegas in maybe 2016 or somewhere around there. He came to town, and he closes the interview with this: is people that don't believe you and doubt your story. Great, good. My advice is spread it around. Tell everyone you know that you don't believe it and it's not true, and leave me alone. So I don't think it would have been a good idea for
Weird red flag. I feel like why not? Well, I'm kind of on the fence with Lazar, to be honest. So I think it might be a net positive that they didn't go. But I feel like this is a Knapp cop out. And also, let's shout out to some of the chat real quick. Nova Brand's here. I got the Epstein song for the outro. Scott Blight's here. Hey, Red. Diddley Squad says Tom Fuckery. Schillenberger is suspect, they say. El Cid Beret says greetings from CBT Windsor, U.S. Airborne, U.S. Oh, wow. Nice. Cool. Nova Brand says outro in your DM. Okay, I'll try and find that. I mean, we'll play it on the outro. Just Solves Problem says rude. Yeah, who's rude here? Knapp to tell him that? Sarah Becat says rules for thee, but not for me. Schillenberger has intelligence connections. That is true. I don't think necessarily he's the most clean guy either. Is it the same hat or different hats? I have 3 of them, although I wear one of them more than the rest of them. David says, good evening. Johnny Potsmoker's here saying, I smoke weed. But yeah, this idea that like Knapp told him don't testify. I don't know. I feel like, honestly, if I'm being honest, I hate, I hope this doesn't come off as like me knocking on Knapp or Corbell, because, I do think they've done like net positive stuff. I think this is Knapp's way of telling you that he doesn't even believe the Bob Lazar story. And, let's just, yes, maybe the foundation of his UFO career was built on that, but let's put that aside. Because also this idea, what did he say that like he doesn't know ufology anything? Let's see.
And maybe I was pushing him in that direction, and he said yes. If you think it's a good idea, yes.
Yeah.
And after a while, after thinking about it, I'm sorry that people will be mad at me for this, but I advised him not to do it. He's told his story. He does not owe ufology anything. He's been crapped on for.
I mean, who hasn't been crapped on in this field? And honestly, he gets more love than most people. Like Rogan literally once a week is shouting him out. Also, like he's made a fair amount of money on ufology, not to be like pocket watching or anything, but like this idea of like he doesn't know ufology. Like I feel like he kind of owes ufology everything to a degree. Maybe not everything, but he's definitely, made a bunch of money with it and stuff. Let me see. Here's Bob Lazar just this past weekend at, the Jesse Michaels event in Austin, which, that's cool. I mean, he was like the special guest. I'd imagine he got paid. I hope he got paid if he went there and did all this stuff. But the idea of like, well, he doesn't know ufology anything, but he's going to stadiums full of ufologists, but like he can't go to Congress. Again, like I think it's just kind of like red flag. I think, and again, I hope this doesn't come off as disrespectful to Knapp, but I think Knapp knows the story might be BS, and it's just weird to me that why wouldn't you go to Congress but you go here, or also this one, why wouldn't you go Congress but you'll go here? This documentary he's got coming out where he's literally driving a DeLorean in the desert.
Hi, I'm Bob Lazar. In December of 1988,
my career started with the lie. Whoops.
I was hired as a senior staff physicist by a U.S. defense contractor called EG&G Special Projects. I was told that I would be working on an advanced propulsion system out in a remote area of the Nevada test site, known as Area 51. Wanting to protect myself, I decided to go public and reveal the secrets of S.
I will say this trailer looks pretty dope. It does. No offense to Jamie, but this already looks better than the.
Well, there's actually 9 flying saucers, flying discs that are out there of extraterrestrial origin.
He is not your typical straight-laced science guy. If you wanted to hire a guy who could think out of the box and help solve problems,
pretty epic
Bob
trailer.
was probably the best person in the country at the time. He was perfect for it. People are catching on that what Bob said is true.
Physical evidence now exists which proves that there is life elsewhere, and at least one form of that life has been here.
It was exactly like disarming a bomb every single day.
He was targeted.
And I saw the guy with the gun.
I was willing to fire back.
These briefings contained a wide spectrum of information, mostly relating to aliens and alien technology.
The people that have been keeping these secrets for a long time are not going to give this stuff up.
No one has ever been able to show exactly what I saw with my own eyes, until now.
Daily Scott says, why does Lazar need the scrutiny? I don't blame Knapp for that advice. I mean, it's not necessarily bad advice, but it's like, you're going to do all this, but we can't go to Congress. We're going to be the special guest at the Jesse Michaels event, and we're going to have this super epic documentary coming out, but we can't go test. Like, think about if he's, let's just run with the idea that he's real, right? I'll just run with it. Like, how good would that be for everything, you know, for him to be, it pushed things down so far. But then again, if he's fake, which I think is kind of what Knapp might think, I just don't see why why everyone wouldn't be wanting him to go.
The information we're getting now is going to come to an end.
The slightest wrong move could release a tremendous amount of energy. To start up the reactor, of course, we need some element 115.
But he had a piece of it, and I don't care whether people believe it or not.
Actually went up in the air like this. Be here and suddenly be here.
We don't know where they came from.
This is my husband, Bob.
He didn't believe in flying saucers.
Super epic trailer. This isn't even the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of this one where he's literally just driving in DeLorean.
There's really no way I can prove it without revealing my identity and getting myself into more trouble than I have already.
Exactly what's going on up there?
Well, there's several, actually 9 flying saucers, flying discs that are out there of extraterrestrial origin, and they're basically being dismantled. Some are, well, in various stages of completion, built from other parts, and they're being test flown and basically just analyzed.
I was 29 years old, working on the most incredible project in the history of the world. No one has ever been able to show
These are good
exactly what
trailers.
I saw with my own eyes until now. Let's travel back in time to December of 1988 when this all started.
Hold up. Did it say, what was the license plate? MJ12? So we could drive around the desert in a DeLorean with an MJ12 license plate, but we can't testify to Congress. Again, isn't this telling anyone else? You know what I mean? Like, isn't this giving anyone else, like, kind of just doesn't make sense to me. It blows my mind. Time machine, DeLorean, but not Congress. I don't know. Maybe I'm the asshole here. Let's see.
What do you think of like David?
Here's when he was asked, I think 2 years ago or so.
David Grush coming forward.
That's dynamite. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, I know mine.
I can only hope that some more people come out.
Would you talk in front of Congress if I set that up? Would you give your testimony under those same circumstances under oath? Would you throw down one last time?
I fought the fight for 30 years, and I'm kind of happy the way it is now. The last thing I want to do is stir the pot again. So yeah. I can say under oath everything I said before is true, and that's all there is to it.
So isn't this kind of a discrepancy? Because here he's telling them no, but in the other video they're like, we told him not to do it and he wanted to. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm just the asshole here. Is there anything else on Lazar front? All right, I think that's it for the Lazar front. Okay, let's do some. What's our next story here? Okay, next we got.
You know, back in 1989.
Oh, actually, wait. Sorry, one more thing. Here's George Knapp actually testifying about Bob Lazar to Congress.
I reported about a guy named Bob Lazar who claimed that he worked at a facility dubbed S4 out in the Nevada desert, very near to Area 51. He said he was part of a reverse engineering program. He said there are alien craft that will be taken apart to figure out how they operated out there. And that was a pretty tall order. I had clearly taken a dive into the deep end of the pool there. But in the years since then, I've interviewed dozens of other people, and I've detailed what their testimony has been.
If Bob Lazar testified to Congress, you'd probably literally have Joe Rogan like in the background, like suited up. It would just be such a net positive. I just don't understand why. And again, it's like, it's not like Bob's a recluse. Oh, I'll shout out Alien Girls here. A bunch of people here. I saw Ocean was here too. It's not like Bob Lazar's a recluse. He's again, he's doing the DeLorean shit. So